So this is my protein pancake recipe. The first thing that we're going to do is turn the stove to a medium-high heat and spray the pans with extra virgin olive oil. This allows the pan to heat up while prepping, saving on cooking time. Next thing we're going to do is mix our dry ingredients together. So we're going to measure out 50 grams of quick oats and we'll blend them until we get a nice fine powder. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and we're just going to mix that in. Then we move on to the wet ingredients. We're going to measure out 250 grams of cottage cheese. I'm using 1% fat cottage cheese just because that fits my macros a little bit better. If you have a higher calorie intake for the day or you are on a more of a high fat diet, you can opt for a higher percentage fat cottage cheese. The best thing about that option while adding more calories is that the price is the exact same. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 2 extra large eggs and add that in with the cottage cheese and we'll blend that together. I recommend adding the eggs after the cottage cheese. It just seems to mix a lot better when the egg is the first thing the blender blends. And I'd also recommend doing the dry ingredients first before the wet ingredients. If you do the cottage cheese and the eggs before the oats, you're just going to end up with these clunky, gluggy oats that are stuck in the blender that you're going to be fishing out. The next thing we're going to do is mix the wet and the dry ingredients together just to make sure there are no lumps. Always check underneath as well just to make sure you've scraped. You can't if you haven't got a see-through bowl. You can't. I just realized that. Perfect. And just make sure there's no lumps. Then when the pan is nice and hot, just add the batter to the pan. I mean, it's that basic. That shouldn't need to be an instruction. It's just a normal pancake recipe. You add the batter when the pan's hot. Yep. So you cook it until it's golden brown and then flip it. I like to apply a little bit of pressure after I've flipped it. Just press that batter down. I find it cooks a little bit better all the way through. So we'll cook that for another 1 to 2 minutes. And then once it moves around the pan nice and freely, just serve it up and you're done.